There are very few men that can claim to have as big of an impact on the wider entertainment industry than Stan Lee. Like, even if you're not a big comic book fan, chances are, like, entertainment, I think we kind of know, especially with the dominance of the MCU going on 20 years at this point in time, it is all because of, well, that man right there. Well, him, Jack Kirby, and a couple of other guys, but specifically Stan Lee. Like, he's a very important figure. And yeah, his passing in, what was that, 2018, 2019? I know that his last cameo was regrettably in Captain Marvel, but he's a much beloved, much appreciated creative, and there's been rumors for a while, okay, after the announcement of his passing, of him potentially being taken advantage of by very nefarious outside parties looking to cash in as best as they can on the final years of the comic legend's life, shepherding him off to appearance after appearance, doubling up his schedule, not to the benefit of him, but to the benefit of their own pocketbooks. And yeah, those have been rumors that have been spoken of for a very long time, but for as long of a time, nobody really had the proof. Like, all they had to go on was, yeah, I seen some things that were a little bit sketchy. I heard some things that, you know, would make your skin crawl, but nobody had definitive proof. That is, until now, and in the past couple of weeks, there's been some footage, and there's been some claims, and there has been a documentary produced somewhat, or at least promoted to be out there, that shows what was going on in the final few years of Stan Lee's life. And well, it has drawn the ire of many, one of which comes from somebody who folded quicker than a Walmart suit when he was confronted by Sneeko, of all people. I'm talking about stupid ass Moist Critical. I fucking hate that guy. He's such a dork. The fact that anybody holds his opinion in any level of esteem, I mean, he's as fake and phony as it comes. I mean, for as hard as he was going against the Logan Paul and the Mr. Beast situation, what was he caught on in CCTV about exposing the game, you know, just running back kayfabe, going, oh, we got a good thing going here with Logan Paul. It's like, he's such a hack. And the fact that anybody puts stock in his opinions on things, just remember, he couldn't say that parents pushing trans ideology on kids was a little bit messed up, and then when he was pressed on it by Sneeko, he decided that he was going to back away from his podcast, that he was going to take some time to reflect, and then he decided to grift off of the controversy he created for himself. He's a fucking loser, and the fact that he wants to go against the creator of this documentary, somebody who worked with, somebody who appreciated, somebody who loved Stan Lee, oh, fuck yourself. Fucking piece of shit. No, he made some spurious claims with his knee-jerk reaction video. Oh, if you had all this information, why didn't you take it to the authorities? Because here's the thing when it comes to elder abuse. The cops really don't give a shit, okay? Like, they have bigger and more important things to do. And of course, like, this is a topic, and watching that trailer, like, I'm not going to bring up the trailer because mostly just, it's tough to watch. Like, I didn't know Stan Lee, obviously. Like, I really love his work and his creations, you know, have contributed to my appreciation and my entertainment over the years. Spider-Man, X-Men, Iron Man, all of that stuff, man. I don't think that that's a superhero, but maybe it is. I don't know. I don't have my encyclopedic level of knowledge in the realms of DC and Marvel quite like I do for other things. But if you just really peel back the layers deep enough, Stan Lee has probably contributed to something that you take quite a bit of enjoyment in. So to see him really be taken advantage of like that, like, that's... man, like, when I talk health, like, over on Rumble, okay, every day during the week, I publish it at 6 p.m. Mountain Time every single day. We talk about certain health-related issues, and I talk about specifically, like, I do a fair amount of videos on dementia and Alzheimer's, mostly because I think that it's the worst way that you could possibly go out in life, and I just, whenever there's a breakthrough, I like to highlight it over there on Rumble. Feel free to go check those out. They're just little videos that I like to do out of the curiosity of my own heart, but seeing somebody who is very much starting to lean in that direction, being taken advantage of, it's difficult to watch, okay? So to have somebody who was around him trying to take care of him while everybody else was trying to take advantage of him and coming up with the goods, and as he explained, he was on a live stream with a Nerdrotic. We're talking Jon Bolerjack, the documentarian and former assistant to Stan Lee. He worked with him for a considerable amount of time in the final few years of Stan's life. And yeah, here's the thing. He took all of the evidence that he had. He took his complaints to the authorities, and they wanted nothing to do with him. It's like, listen, how are we going to talk to him? There's no signs of physical abuse. He says that he wants to do all of this stuff. It's a lot of he said, she said, and you know what? We got other things to do. And he put the information, he put his tapes on YouTube for like 5 years, and they got absolutely no traction because who is this guy and who cares about all of this stuff? So when listening to this guy and seeing what he has, I think he's coming at this from the right place. It's just the way that he's going about his distribution is probably the reason why he's catching a lot of shit. But let's get into this, okay? Because Stan Lee documentary claims to shine a light on the years of elder abuse in the final chapter of the Marvel creator's life. A new documentary is stirring discussion over the final chapter of the life of Marvel Comics legend Stan Lee. Titled Stan Lee, The Final Chapter, the film promises to shed a light on what is described as a deeply troubling period of the beloved creator's twilight years. However, before the project reaches audiences, the filmmakers are seeking financial backing to complete it. Yeah, because in hearing what he had to say, and he's done a very, honestly, to put some justifiable blame on his behalf, like not coming out and saying, okay, well, it's going to take some time to edit this stuff together to present it like a documentary. Like there are costs that have been accrued by this. Have also been sued by the people that were, taking advantage of Stan. Like there's a lot of costs that are involved in this. I'm not looking to turn a profit on it or anything like that. I just want to break even and get the message out there. Like if he would have came forward and done that instead of just titling it, yeah, Stan's final chapter, here, give me money so you can see all the footage. It's like, it's a bad look. I get it. But instead of just having a knee-jerk reaction and just wanting to prove to the world how good of a person you are, mop top head having dork, why not just try to put two and two together? Yeah, if you've had this information, if you've had this footage, why would you wait over 5 years in order to release it? And why wouldn't you wait until a much more opportune time if you were just trying to make a buck off of it? Like it just immediately doesn't pass the smell test when it comes to capitalizing and trying to turn a buck on this. But I digress. The producer of the film have launched, yes, a Kickstarter campaign aimed to raise $300,000 to cover final production costs. As of now, it has $64,000. Well, I've got the Kickstarter pulled up right here, and I guess that's Canadian. Can we go ahead and change the funds? I don't really care all that much, but so yeah, that would be 65,000 now as it sits at time of my recording. So it's gone up a little bit, but I kind of think that the popular sentiment and the damage has been done by a bunch of concerned trolls. Lee, widely regarded as the creative force behind many of Marvel's iconic superheroes, well, yeah, very much so, passed away November of 2018, right at the age of 95, according to the documentary's creator. The final chapter will reveal behind-the-scenes footage and details alleging of Lee's later years that were overshadowed by exploitation and manipulation. The film claims to expose those closest to Lee who, as alleged, profited off of his declining health and stature. At the center of the project is Jon Bolerjack, a comic book artist and filmmaker who previously worked as an assistant to Lee. Bolerjack reportedly became a trusted figure within Lee's inner circle. He was there for a few years, he said during the interview, and captured extensive footage during that time. The Kickstarter page describes how Bolerjack gained unprecedented access to Lee's life and recorded what he witnessed. The campaign's description claims Bolerjack uncovered a world where Lee's signatures and memorabilia were turned into lucrative business ventures, while competing individuals vied for control over Lee's fortune and legacy. It further asserts that Bolerjack personally observed mistreatment and betrayal during his time by Lee's side. Before his passing, and as featured in the documentary, Lee gave Bolerjack his blessing to use the footage and share the story with the world, the release dates. Yeah, because when John first came into the project, and this is what he talked about in the interview, he wanted to do something like, because at that point in time, in the early 2010s, everybody was getting a reality show, and, hey man, like a Stan Lee reality show, like he's going around to all of these cons, like he's got to have some really cool stories, he should be able to get something out of that, so he approached him with that, and at that point in time, the whole reality TV show didn't really end up panning out, and so he, asked Stan, it's like, why don't we try to turn this into a documentary? Why don't you just allow me to keep the cameras rolling? We could figure out something from there. So that's how we got all of this access. Okay, legal and personal battles surrounding Lee's final years drew public attention in 2018 when the Los Angeles court issued a restraining order on behalf of Lee's daughter, J.C. Lee, against one of Lee's former managers. Yeah. Additionally, journalist Abraham Reisman's 2021 biography, The Rise and Fall of Stan Lee, explored many of the lawsuits and business disputes tied to Lee's later later life. Currently, no release date has been announced for Stan Lee's The Final Chapter, a documentary. And yeah, going on the Kickstarter there, and Chris Gore of Film Threat, shout out to him, talking about how, updating this stuff and really, changing it to be more transparent about what you're going to be doing with the money, as paying the crew, feeding them equipment, rental, finishing all this stuff, legal fees, and just simply being more transparent. That might end up helping, because the perception around this, not great. But if you engage your critical capacities for a moment, you'd have to really come to the conclusion that he has the best for Stan and his legacy in mind, and at this point in time, releasing footage like this after it's been so well documented and alluded to doesn't really push an agenda, really. At least not one that I can see being as good faith as possible. It's just potentially retooling the Kickstarter, being more transparent, perhaps just going, the moment that we get everything taken care of, and then from there, if we're going to be turning a profit on this, everything's going to go towards like an Alzheimer's or a elder abuse awareness charity. That could be something. And then also and calling the documentary the final chapter makes it seem awfully grim, because here's the thing, man, if he says that it's kind of an uplifting message at the end, it's like people have a image of Stan in their heads, okay? Like, he contributed to so many things throughout his 95 illustrious years, and to see him go down like this, it's very tough. So if you want to do it right, and hopefully we can right this wrong before it is in fact too late. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.